Hello, I'm Carl Stefanovic. Welcome to this special Sunday edition of A Current Affair. And tonight, that video, that single act of retaliation, the moment when a 15-year-old boy said enough is enough and finally stood up for himself, taking on those who wanted to take him down. That boy is Casey Heynes, bullied for much of his life, a hero to millions tonight. This is his story.
He just came up out of nowhere and grabbed me by the shirt, and then he punched me in the face. Then he goes for a second hit, I blocked it, and third hit, I don't know if he connected, and then fourth and fifth tried to hit me. And then I actually snapped and grabbed him, picked him up off the ground, threw him to the ground in self-defense.
He's the boy who stood up to a bully.
I was just looking at him. I wasn't really thinking. I was just like, yay, finally, it's over.
After a lifetime of torment and abuse, finally Casey Heynes fought back. The moment captured in a 40-second video clip that was posted online. It spread like wildfire, and within hours had been watched by millions of people, turning this 15-year-old Aussie schoolboy into a worldwide hero.
But I saw this story that just kind of touched my heart.
All right, little kid punching him, and then suddenly the big kid had too much, and boom!
Ooh. He was they weren't fighting. He defended himself. If that was my son, I go, you do it again.
Everybody on this planet who has seen your video is in your corner. Casey, you're a man, okay? And I salute you.
Why do you think that so many people have reacted the way that they have to what you did?
Because people get bullied all the time.
Ever since he can remember, Casey says he's been picked on, put down, bashed and tormented. How long has this been going on?
In primary school, year 2, all the way up to year 6. And once I hit high school, one person started it. I had about 8 friends. My 8 friends ditched me that first year, and then the teasing started from there.
When you say teasing, what do you mean?
Like calling me like fatty and all of that, and slapping me across the back of their head, like tripping me, throwing water bombs at me.
How often would this stuff go on?
Practically every day.
How did you feel when those 8 friends that you had deserted you?
Lonely. I was all alone. That's how the easy target came along.
You had no one to back you up?
Nope. Nobody.
I didn't realise how much trouble he was actually in until I'd seen that video, you know. And he said, "Well, that goes on every day, Dad." And I thought to myself, "You poor little bloke, you know, how many years did you put up with this sort of treatment, you know?"
Like so many parents whose kids are bullied, Casey's dad, Colin, had no idea of the full extent of his son's suffering until now.
When he was saying in the interview, I had a tear in my eye. I felt so bad, you know. Fancy having all your friends and then they just walk off and just leave you there, really.
What makes an okay day?
When nobody touches me and teases me.
Do they happen often?
No, not really. Like, not the good days.
What was your lowest moment?
When I contemplated suicide.
When was that?
Like a year ago. Well, I just started putting myself down. Like, put myself down to that level. And then all the crap just keep on piling on.
It's tough, eh? What got you through?
My sister.
Casey's older sister, Tiana, despises the bullies. She's always been there for her brother, helping him through his darkest moments.
Every day I'm just like, oh, make sure you get to school all right, or I hope you have a good day at school, and just make sure nothing happens. Like, I feel like I need to walk him to school, you know?
What's the worst thing that's happened to you at school?
I've been duct taped to a pole.
Duct taped to a pole?
Yeah. They put the duct tape over my eyes first and dropped me down and duct taped me to a pole.
Why do you think they target you?
Because I don't retaliate.
You're an easy target.
Pretty much.
Last Monday was just another school day. As usual, Casey headed for class. As usual, the bullies were waiting for him. But this time, things would be different.
Where did this all start with this boy?
Well, like 2 weeks prior to that, he and others would come up to me and slap across the back of the head and tease me and all of that.
What would they say to you?
Like you're a fatty and like lose some weight.
Casey was on his way to pick up a timetable when he was ambushed, punched in the face by 12-year-old Richard Gale.
You laughing at ya?
Go, Richard, go. Wow, this is getting sad, bro.
Egged on by his mates, the little kid taunts his victim and lands more punches, until suddenly, Casey snaps.
What do you think was going to happen that day?
I thought the rest of them would be jumping in. That's why I picked him up and dropped him, because I was scared. I just wanted to defuse the situation.
Have you ever reacted like that way to a bully before?
No.
Why? Why did you react this way this time?
Because everything is build up through 3 years, and so the anger that came out of it.
You'd had enough?
Yeah.
Casey acknowledges that the smaller boy could have been seriously hurt. He was lucky to escape with just a grazed knee. In line with its zero-tolerance approach to fighting, the school immediately suspended both boys.
Looking back on what you did, do you think you overreacted?
No.
Why not?
Because all I wanted it was just to stop.
When did you first hear about what had happened?
When Casey came back from school, then he showed me the video and I said, I know I should be doing this, but high five.
How did you feel that he stood up and did what he did?
Great. I felt good.
Why?
Because it felt like, for me, he defeated something that's been troubling him for years.
What went through your mind the first time you watched that video?
I was actually horrified at the ending. The beginning, it upset me because he was by himself. You know, I couldn't be there to help him.
How do you feel about what Casey did that day?
I don't condone violence, you know, and it was a horrific sort of thing to see, like 2 boys in a schoolyard and it ending like that. You know, it's nothing to be proud of, but I'm glad that he stood up for himself.
It's an underdog story, and you watch it and you're seeing a kid being punched and you think, oh, this is going to be awful. But then there's this twist, right? And it's a really clear narrative when the kid lays the smack down. And when he does, in that 3 seconds, he's enacting a revenge fantasy for any kid anywhere in the world that has ever been bullied.
It wasn't long before this David and Goliath battle with a difference was posted online. Within hours, it had gone viral, striking a chord with people around the world. Media expert Mark Fennell of the ABC's Hungry Beast program says millions are cheering Casey on as a hero.
Because you can't hear the dialogue, it crosses language barriers, and because you don't know where the school is, it crosses cultural barriers, and it works because it is just so simple.
The clip has been remade in countless ways, from a Street Fighter video game to this South Korean animation, complete with Casey the Punisher turning into the Incredible Hulk.
It's gone way beyond just a video filmed in Western Sydney. It's now become kind of a phenomenon and a culture unto itself, where people have taken it and are so inspired or, you know, kind of thrilled by what this kid has done that they've actually gone and created new things inspired by it. And it's taken on a life entirely of its own.
The numbers are truly staggering. At least 4 Facebook pages with more than 200,000 fans. An online poll by showbiz website TMZ with more than 150,000 votes. There are literally dozens of YouTube videos with hundreds of thousands of views and comments, almost all of them backing Casey and his defiant stand against the bullies.
How does it make you feel when you read some of those messages?
Pretty good.
Why?
Because I've never had so much support.
You've got hundreds of thousands of people in your corner now.
Yeah.
That must be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
14,710 people.
There's even messages on the Facebook page and website pages saying, oh yeah, I got bullied too, and I never had the strength to snap like you did, Casey, you're my hero, and all of that.
What else do they call you?
I got one that calls me the Punisher, Hulk Smash, like all kinds of superheroes. Batman's calling and all of that.
Are you a superhero?
No, not really. Wish I was.
Do you think your brother is a hero, particularly to other kids going through similar stuff?
Yeah, he is. He's now an icon.
The support from around the world has been incredible. I've never witnessed anything like this. It's so huge. You know, I just can't believe. You know, and I'd like to thank a lot of those people too for lending their support to Casey.
This looks like the place, mate.
Do you reckon all this attention, all this support will change him?
It's already changed his demeanour and self-esteem. You know, like you can see, he's standing a lot straighter, a lot more proud, you know, which is very good for him. And also for a guy who only had one friend last week, and now there's, like you say, 230,000 odd people, you know. Yeah, it's a big difference.
Are you proud of him?
I'm very proud of him. I'm proud of him because he stood up for himself. They backed him against the wall, they gave him no option, and he had to do it. He just, you know, he had to defend himself.
There are probably hundreds of thousands of young people who are going through exactly what you've been through. What would you say to them?
Look for the good days, keep your chin up, and school ain't gonna last forever.
Hang in there?
Yep.
Good advice. A courageous and articulate young man, just pushed to the absolute limit. And if you have any problems with bullying, I know so many of you do, too many in fact, give these guys a call. It's the Kids Helpline on 1800 55 1800. That's 1800 55 1800. They are there to help, and they make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives.